What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And if you're not familiar with Shane Dawson and his docu-series that he has done here on YouTube, you really should be. He's done some really amazing stuff, focusing on like TanaCon, one of my favorite creators, Graveyard Girl, and now most recently he's focused on a very polarizing figure here on YouTube, Jake Paul. And this series is absurdly popular, getting 10, 15, 20 million views per episode, so I'm sure you've already heard of it, but we'll summarize it just in case. Now, this series has a lot in common with the other series that Shane has done. He picks a polarizing figure like Tana Mojo or Jeffree Starr and then focuses on them and humanizes them and shows you the good and the bad about that person. This Jake Paul documentary is a little different, though, because it is focused quite a bit on the bad. And if for some reason you're unfamiliar with Jake Paul, that's Logan's little brother. And I'm sure you know quite a bit about Logan Paul at this point because he's made national news with his antics in Japan. I won't even say the name of that forest, but you know the one I'm talking about. And if you're not familiar with Jake, you can get familiar by watching Shane's series, but he has been accused of all kinds of messed up stuff by ex-girlfriends, by people who are on his Team 10, by friends and family members. The guy is certainly controversial. He's done some pretty incredibly stupid stuff. And a lot of that stupid stuff has been documented right here on YouTube, and you don't need to take a lot of it out of context. A lot of the stuff he's done in videos has been crazy, over the top, just absurd stuff. I guess I'm supposed to insert like a collage of like Jake setting stuff on fire in a pool and breaking down walls in a mansion and spitting in a girl's face. You can watch Shane's documentary for that. I don't have the editing skills for that. But when Shane announced this documentary, a lot of people were afraid that he was going to do for Jake Paul what he did for Jeffree Starr or the Graveyard Girl or even Tana Mojo. Show their side of things, humanize them, make you reconsider your perceptions about them, and a lot of people really did not want to run the risk of that happening with Jake Paul. But here's the thing, the series is not over yet, and I think by the end of the series, there's no way they can make Jake Paul look good. They'll definitely humanize him. They will show you some of the reasons he's made some of the stupid mistakes that he's made, but that doesn't change the fact that he, like me, like many other people, have done and said some really stupid crap. But if you already hate Jake Paul and you go into this series watching it, I think you'll still hate Jake Paul. But you're going to be given a lot of new information that will challenge that idea. You're going to find out that a lot of the stuff that they have done was exaggerated. You'll find out a lot of the stuff they have done has been faked. You'll find out that a lot of the drama that surrounds Team 10 and some of the stuff that Team 10 has said is just absolutely not true. And it's heartbreaking to hear that stuff. But you really have to ask yourself the question, is faking that stuff any better than actually doing that stuff? And if so, how much better? Because you're still convincing an audience of tens of millions of people that that stuff is real. Now, I do know that a lot of people can be very upset about that, but can we really, should we really be? Because, obviously I have my own fake series here on YouTube, my Francis videos. They are over the top and exaggerated for purpose, and I'm open about the fact that they are fake. But then you have other friends of mine like McJuggernuggets, who has the Psycho Kid series, where he pretends to be crazy and psychotic and his family pretends to be crazy and psychotic. Or maybe our collaborations together where I pretend to be a murderer for the sake of pranks. But beyond that, almost everybody you follow on social media, YouTubers, Twitter people, Instagrams, they always exaggerate certain points. They always exaggerate certain aspects of who they are. They lie by omission. Everybody is fake to some extent on social media. Every video is edited. Almost every Instagram photo has been edited in some way, run through some filters to make the person look better. But that's not even what I'm talking about. I mean, even your friends and family, they upload their best moments to Instagram and social media. They don't upload their worst moments. They don't upload when they're sad, crying, and look ugly, when their makeup is running. They don't talk about their depressed days or their frustrated days. Most people try to make their lives look way more fun and way more interesting than they actually are. A lot of people show their vacation photos. Not a lot of people show their work photos, and if they do, it's when something good happens at work. Maybe not every single person is that way online, but 99.9% of people are. I genuinely believe that. I know my friends, I know my family, I know the other creators I follow, and all of us try to put our best foot forward and leaving the ugly, sad parts of our lives behind because a lot of us just aren't comfortable sharing that stuff. But considering that everybody omits stuff in social media, is it any real surprise that a YouTuber like Jake Paul, the character you're known as Jake Paul, the person you perceive as Jake Paul, doesn't actually exist? And then when you watch the Shane Dawson documentary, you find out that he has a flawed family and a flawed upbringing, and that he's actually really nice to the girl he's dating and nice to his friends, and that he is a well-rounded individual and not just the butthole he plays here on the internet or the monster you've created in your mind. Did you honestly think that boogeyman actually exists? And if you did, that's sad, but you certainly didn't think they would be one of the most watched people on YouTube if they were that way, did you? Come on. Well, the reality is, a lot of the things that Jake does are very unsavory. They are not smart or good things, whether it's the character of Jake Paul or the real person that is Jake Paul that we've seen here in the documentary. At the end of the day, the guy has done some real damage. He's really hurt some people. He's made stuff look really stupid. And more importantly, I think he's made his audience believe that some of the stuff that he did in his videos was really him. And a lot of people emulate him, and a lot of people think maybe it's okay to do that kind of stuff. Hopefully not, but some do. Which is one of the reasons I've always been so open about my Francis character being fake. Because if I wasn't, I would feel horribly, horribly guilty about it, because I would be afraid that people would emulate that. I, certainly would not want that. Even when YouTube was telling me if I did only the Francis videos, I'd become an household name. I'd rather tell the truth than become an household name, honestly. It would have been nice to have all that money, though. The other thing that I really hope they hammer home with the ending of this Shane Dawson documentary is the fact that I genuinely believe he was raised by what appears to be narcissists based on their videos. And I don't mean the kind of narcissists who, you see on YouTube every day that are claimed to be narcissists, but I mean actual, genuine narcissists. If you don't know this already, there's a big difference between the way people use the term narcissist and the actual definition of people with a narcissistic personality disorder. It's a pretty big difference there. But I think Jake's parents definitely fit the criteria. When I watch Shane's documentary and I see his parents and I look at all the research and stuff that I've seen online about his parents, they do look like they had good intentions. They were raising their children to focus on living big lives and becoming famous and rich and being successful, and really drove them to that. But it came out to be like kind of a Jackson 5 situation, and it looks like instead of bettering them, it was to their detriment. It looks like Jake and Logan are worse off because of it. They're certainly successful, but maybe they don't have all the skills they need to cope with that success. Not that any of us would be doing any better at that age, 21, 23, with that kind of fame and that kind of power and that kind of money. We would all probably be making the world a much worse place than Jake is. So let's just be honest there. But the way Shane Dawson has portrayed Jake Paul here kind of reminds me of Michael Scott from The Office in a lot of ways. He just seems to be desperately wanting attention and desperately wanting friends and desperately wanting people he can trust and love. And I won't lie, I can relate to that. But what I really think we've seen here in this Shane Dawson documentary is hopefully there's an opportunity for the next stage of Jake's life, hopefully Logan's life as well, where they choose to do better things with that power, with that money, to try to provide a much better and healthier and happier message than the one they've done. They've done a lot of outlandish stuff. Most of it appears to be faked based on what we've seen here. But regardless, I still don't know how I feel about that. But all that said, maybe it's time for the outlandish stuff to stop, and maybe we start doing outlandishly good things, outlandishly positive things, things with positive messages behind them. And it looks like Jake is the kind of person who might really consider that moving forward. And I hope that he does. I really do. That's all I've ever wanted for Jake and Logan, and that's what I want for him now, because that would be good for the platform. It would be good for his viewers. It'd be good for the world. It'd be putting some real positivity into the world to help make up for some of the negativity they put in the world instead. Here's what I will say was most eye-opening about all of this, though, is how many people do not want their perceptions of people challenged. I know whenever I make a stupid mistake, people are often so angry, so frustrated, because they have me built up to be some sort of Mr. Rogers of YouTube, and I'm certainly not that. I'm anything but that. But Jake is built up to be the boogeyman of YouTube, probably his brother Logan more so. But when they do good things, it challenges people's perceptions and it angers them. They get so angry. And if you are the kind of person that gets angry when someone challenges your perceptions, then, buddy, you need to be challenging your perceptions way more often, because you'd be so surprised how much of what we think about this world is just not true, especially because it's been filtered through YouTube, through the media, through our friends, and through our own misperceptions. You should dig deep on everything that is handed to you, especially stuff like internet celebrities. Oh, come on. Come on. You have to know there's so much misinformation out there. You can't possibly believe it. You shouldn't, anyway. And that's what I appreciate Shane for. It feels like he's really cutting through that misinformation to do a deep dive, to get some real truth and some real information. And boy, I sure hope he keeps doing it. I look forward to the next project after Jake Paul, and I can't wait to watch the rest of this. And so interesting that so much of what we thought was Jake Paul was meant for misinformation he spread himself. Gotcha. All right, this is going to wrap it up for this video. Do me a favor, there's a comment section down below, and I would love to know what you think about this docuseries, what you think about what Shane Dawson is doing. I personally love that Shane is doing this, and I know it really adds to the dramification of YouTube, but it's the other side of the coin. Rather than trying to do damage, it really feels like Shane is trying to heal YouTube here and make the platform and the website and some of its celebrities much better people. I feel like Shane is choosing to be a doctor or a medic or a nurse here. And boy, Shane, I love you for it. I really do. If you're not watching that series, I do recommend you go watch it or check out some of the other stuff Shane has uploaded in the last few months. It is YouTube at its best. It should be on the trending page every time it gets uploaded. They should be throwing money at Shane to create content like this because it's exactly what I want from YouTube right now. It's a perfect version of what YouTube should be, and I can't wait to see more of it. Shane, open that Patreon. Let me throw money at you, buddy. That said, do me a favor if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments section below. Drop a like while you're down there. Hit subscribe if you haven't. I think you'll enjoy the videos I've been uploading lately. There's going to be a lot more stuff like this. Hit that notification bell if you want to join the notification squad and help me make sure that my videos get pushed out to all the other subscribers and recommendations. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.